It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hi, Tokwe, how are you?
Good. Amazing morning. I'm very good.
Monday.
I had a very busy, interesting weekend. I think the entire ladies of Your View actually also enjoyed in the bounty, but I was late to the party. I went to Mrs. house yesterday, and she fed me till I was fed up. So I was going to bed and I was like, hey, Jesus Christ, this is my stomach. But the kids had fun. They missed out on the fact that they couldn't meet, they couldn't see your kids. Because actually, I woke up yesterday and David and Nana came to me with that. We've not seen Elizabeth since. And we don't even see in school. I said, how come? He said, we're not allowed to go to anybody's classes. We're only sitting down on our chair all day. I only see her on online school. I'm like, interesting. The change in education and how our children relate with each other might affect them long term, because kids should be playful, interact and have that warmth. But with COVID-19, everybody has to be careful.
How are you doing, Nima?
I'm fine.
Missy is stuck in traffic. You know, she passed the Ikorodu Road.
Yes.
And she's stuck. She's still in Friday, I think, or something like that. So, Palm Grove. So hopefully she should be with us before the show ends. How are you doing, Nima? How was your own weekend? We kind of hung out this weekend anyway.
Yes, we hung out this weekend, and Gufra wanted to sleep over. She kept saying, Mommy, boring party. Because she didn't sleep. Nagged me all the way home. She wanted to sleep.
They said the kids didn't sleep until 2 a.m. in the morning. Like,
I don't know who told her she had to sleep. I said to her, we're not sleeping over, but she...
My kids, the moment they entered the car like this, turn on the AC, they were knocked out. They were like, they partied, they ran, they played, they had fun. And I thank you, BC, for hosting us this weekend. We had a great time, the kids had fun.
Something interesting happened yesterday in my house. So the bricklayer working for me brought his son. And I wanted to share this story so Nigerians will understand our diversity that we have. So this boy he's in dreads. You know, the children where their faith does not allow them cut off the dreads when they're children. So he came and my son was saying, a good friend will not allow me play with my sister. I said, no, he's a brother. And the sister came, is he a girl? I said, no, he's a boy. And then the boy himself had a problem pronouncing Imran. So he kept saying, Imran said, my name is Iman. I said, Emmanuel. After I said, Imran, just Emmanuel the team. Because I was saying, his name is Imran. It's okay. Emmanuel. And, you know, children in their innocence, that's how different we all are.
Yeah.
And they played throughout the day together. They played, they got injured, they jumped over everything. They called themselves those difference. In their innocence, they didn't know the difference. But I found it funny.
Shout out, please. So, I am Stephen Tosin says I should shout out Nima Akashat Zibiri. Says that he reached out to Nima because he had magnetic resonance MRI medical issues that required MRI scan, and Nima supported him financially to pay for the MRI scan, and he knows that Nima would not accept. He has tried thanking Nima over and over again, so he sent me a message that I should thank Nima on TV for paying for his medical bill. But you were able to.
Know. Myself and Tosin paid, not me. Tosin, thank you.
Thank God for that. Okay, so we have 3 really important news mentions this morning. This week's TVC Communication is joining in the worldwide celebration of the 2020 Customer Service Week, starting today, October 5th to October 9th. The theme for the year is Dream Team, which reflects the importance of teamwork in providing outstanding service to all customers.
Yes.
So,
and your view is the example of Dream Team and how teamwork can make you work. So that's why we're wearing a touch of blue, so as just to commemorate the day.
Right. So we also, today is World Teachers Day. This day has been set aside since 1994 for every year for the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, to celebrate the teaching profession worldwide. Teachers today, many of the teachers in Lagos State are actually in training today, but they're all excited about today. Today is a day to reflect and thank God for their profession, because everybody is a teacher. And we all pass through teachers. And we should celebrate.
And they're paying a lot of sacrifice worldwide right now by teaching in spite of the pandemic.
And finally, very, very important, today is a sadly reminder, 8 years ago marks today the infamous jungle justice that rocked the entire nation, the ASU 4 killings. ALU 4 killings. It was a lynching that involved 4 young men who were students of the University of Port Harcourt. Remember them today, very, very young, bright boys, had a beautiful future, but unfortunately was cut short by Jungle Justice. And today we remember them. You're going to say?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about it because these young men were just suspected armed robbers, and the villagers, as much as they tried to, establish their innocence and defend themselves, they didn't listen to them. They lynched them there and then. This is why I reject totally self-help. Get that person to a police station, no matter how much you think the police would,
no matter how guilty you think the person is.
Get that person to a police station, let him have his day in court.
We say no to jungle justice. And also we acknowledge the NSAS, which has been trending since over the weekend. We will talk about it, but we want to get all the right parties involved so that we have a good show. So sometime during the week, we're going to talk about it. But first, let's go on a break. We'll come back. We'll go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, we'll start with The Nation this morning. Buhari wants to come to threats on restructuring. Presidency warns against unpatriotic outbursts by advocates. Outrage over FSAR's excesses. All firms to fund development of host communities in PIB plan. Conflicting signals on Trump's state of health. Lagos issues flood alert over dam inflow. And NSC set to become public company. Okay, which story are we taking?
The dam. Yes. So
go ahead with the dam.
According to the Commissioner for Environment in Lagos State, the dam in Ogun State will be releasing waters very soon. So they want the communities around there in, the Sherry communities, all the communities bordering around this water area to be ready for some kind of flood because they really have to release this water in tons. So something metric tons of water will be released little by little like that, and then they might suffer flood. So just an alert to people in that area to find relocation.
Yes, I want to take the story of the oil firm. So a bit of good news are waiting when they finally assent to the PIB plan. So the proposed PIB bill, petroleum industry bill, is going to be imposing that every company, that every company that is residing in any host community must put 2.5% of their annual expenditure to the host community, and 75% of whatever that is should go into infrastructure capital projects. So that way it is not channeled through any traditional ruler and all of that. It goes straight into building infrastructure in all.
Which is really great. I mean, that's something worth celebrating about. Okay, moving on to The Punch. Outrage over SARS menace or Shimbajo, others condemn killings. Nigerians don't know difference between policeman and armed robber, says Vice President. Inspector General stops squad from patrols, checkpoints, stop and search others. Woman bats maid with hot water for licking baby's milk. Nigeria's bail out nursing mother detained in hospital in Lagos. Gunmen kill Ekiti pastor, motorist crushes cop to death. Ondo APC PDP exchange words as supporters clash again. Travelers must bear full cost of COVID-19 test, says PTF. IPPIS varsity senior staff begin 14-day warning strike today. And PDP lacks moral authority to query Buhari, says APC. Okay, which story are we taking?
We are taking the story of the mother that was stranded in the hospital. And some of our fans on Facebook reached out saying that they wanted to... Someone's called my attention to a comment that someone wanted to pay. So I just said... You should let me know his intention. I sent him a message, but the story in Punch today is that Nigerians
they actually got quite a bit of response from people. So a lot of people.
They paid her bills.
I was going to take the woman who bathed her maid in hot water. Also, the child obviously was locked up in a room. She told the police that she was actually bathing for her baby and mistakenly poured the hot water on the maid. Now, this maid is an 8-year-old child. That in itself,
that's not even
that's first crime.
Yes, that in itself is a crime. So 8-year-old, and she got angry that the child licked. If you see the child, very malnourished. The picture is there.
Child.
Malnourished child.
My own kids lick. Your
Even
own child
your husband will lick milk. People will eat fish from the pot. Big deal.
It's food.
You are cooking food now.
I'm expecting that. I want to see the detail, and I'm sure the newspapers will carry when she's taken to court and prosecuted, because one, you shouldn't have an 8-year-old. If anybody has 8-year-old maid right now, you are committing a crime.
Yes.
Forget it, you don't have a maid. If you have an 8-year-old and underage with you while you're nursing, you don't have a maid, you have a baby. You have two babies.
Let's take the major headline, SARS. I mean, that's a big story, and as I said, we've seen it. A lot of people have tweeted to us and hashtagged us. We're going to take this story, but we can't take without getting all the right parties in place. So we're going to have the parties. Hopefully, sometime this week we'll do it. But first, we got to take what happened in the papers.
Yes, so a video of a shooting of a young man surfaced from Ughelli Delta State. It went viral on Saturday. The security men were said to have fled, in his jeep and left his body on the roadside.
Right.
And that was what sparked the entire.
And then the minister, Keyamo, had tweeted saying that SARS was not responsible.
No, he tried to get to the root of the story. Yes. He found the family members. They found the young man wasn't dead, as reported, that he was only injured, that he fell off the police van. And that was why they left him on the ground. That the police said they wanted to rescue him, but the mob was coming, and they had to run away. So the mob said they threw him off. The account of the man was that they threw him off. The other people said no, he jumped off. Yeah. But the person was in the hospital, and he then tweeted a picture of the person healing and a wound that was almost, done. Right. And people were wondering, no, this is not the person. This just happened. If there's injury on that person, it has to be fresh. So those doubts and all of that,
that sparked the new hashtag NSAS trending.
Again.
Okay, let's move on to Vanguard. Restructuring, governors lament, say system not working. Bandits sack 500 farmers in Katsina. Economy, other sectors suffer as debt servicing surges. IGP warns SARS boss CPs others over misconduct of operatives. And Southern Kaduna crisis ploy to exterminate Muslims in area, says Muslim leaders allege. Okay, which story are we taking in Vanguard?
So I want to take the Adeboye story.
Yes.
So at the church service, on Sunday, he was giving a message titled, "Let God Rise." He spoke that every nation pretending to be friends of Nigeria, but actually trying to enslave it, that, that all of them, if you're a terrorist or you're a terrorist sponsor in Nigeria, you will not see the new year. And, people consider this a cause, but if you've seen the weight of what people have suffered up north, I personally agree with him. The attendant effects of this terrorism that we're suffering generally,
widespread,
displacing people from their normal lives, the hardship from lack of food, and entire, you would swear that if anybody is at the back of this, benefiting from this chaos, this terrorism, the loss of lives and everything, that person should not see.
He also added that if Nigeria is not restructured, that let me just get what exactly he said. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Pastor always said that the country would collapse if not properly restructured. And he was really adamant the fact that we need to ensure that all parties in this country obviously are well, their issues are addressed properly. So he has said that the country might collapse if we don't put proper restructuring plans. And this obviously echoes what the other governors have been saying, especially the NGF, the Nigerian Governors Forum. They've decided and discussed and saying that we have to restructure before 2023. This is according to
many
Governor Fayemi.
People were misconstruing that statement by the GO to mean that he's in support of separation or Ududua, and there were some headlines outside,
That's a lie.
He did not say that,
What he said was, he complained about bad roads, bad governance, the terrorism we are suffering, and he said some countries are in the long run benefiting from it because people sell arms to the terrorists anyway. And he talked generally about that. I think everybody that wants to know the story should read the story.
Okay, that's all we can take on the front page review. When we come back, we commemorate Child Health Day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So today, the 5th of October, is always known as Child Health Day. And in commemorating this day, TVC Communications and Procter & Gamble recently paid a humanitarian visit to Ayinke House Maternity Hospital in Ikeja, Lagos, to donate diapers to nursing mothers as part of CSR activities. Watch this clip.
I'm the head of corporate communications and PR at TVC Communications. That's the owners of TVC News, TVC Entertainment, Max FM Lagos and Abuja.
In commemoration of the 2020 Child Health Day, which is in line with one of the TVC Communications CSR initiatives, which is targeted at children development and growth. Our CSR practice is integrating social and environmental goals into our business operations while also promoting child development and growth. At TVC Communications, we have lined up different activities targeted at giving back to the society and our immediate environment.
The organization deemed it fit to put funds together to come and donate to people here. I think we should please give standing. Thank you very much.
Girl, Abby, congratulations. God will bless her. On behalf of Max FM, TVC, my entire crew, thank you so much, man. Congratulations to you. Talk for your On behalf of TVC, we came here, TVC News and Max FM. We came to come and celebrate with you and also present to you some gifts from our management. God bless you. Thank you very much. Long life and prosperity in Jesus' name. You shall live here joyful, happy, peaceful in the name of Jesus. Because we all have children, we understand the difficulties, but we know that God is able to bring us through and make everything happy in His own time. Congratulations to you once again, and thank you very much for having us.
I want to thank God for safe delivery. I thank God for my baby. I thank God I'm alive. I thank God also for TVC for coming around to surprise us with gift of Pampers. I'm very, very appreciative. And it's a whole experience, and I'm grateful that I'm part of this experience. Thank you very much.
Yay! So joining us on the show is the Senior Director for Africa Global Government Relations and Public Policy, Procter & Gamble, Temitope Iluyemi. Good morning! How are you doing, Temitope?
Good morning.
Good
Lovely to see you all this morning.
Yes.
And thanks for inviting me to your show.
Yes. So your company decided to partner with TVC Communications to help mothers with Pampers during this period. Could you tell us why you made this decision?
Well, at P&G, we are a force for good and a force for growth. So it's very important. And as you know, many of our products are geared towards supporting women, particularly the mother and child. So these are values which we really key into. So it was very easy for us to partner with TVC on this project because it's a shared value with P&G.
Okay, so nice to put a face to the name, but I wanted to ask concerning what's the importance of the mother and child relationship? Because today is the children and the welfare of children in Nigeria generally, and how is P&G promoting that relationship and the welfare of children?
Well, first, thank you for recognizing this day, Mother and Child Healthcare Day. It's very important. And like you said, even in nation building, mothers play a critical role. The mother is the first person a child knows. So I always say that in business language, we have the first mover's advantage. You're the first person he or she knows through pregnancy, through breastfeeding, up to the time a child starts to learn to walk, to crawl, and to do so many other things. There are several aspects of nation building, which includes the social, the political, the economic, as well as the human facets. This is where mothers, and particularly families, play a very big role. Many studies have shown that women or children who grow up in secure families tend to be better adapted, they are more self-confident, and they are able to contribute their best quota to nation building and to economic development as well.
Right.
So this is very important. Mothers play a really big role in the lives of children. And if you've heard from many people have lots of testimonies about the role their mothers have played in shaping their lives and in making them be what they are today. We're also thankful to fathers who are contributing even more and more in today's children's lives. The studies have shown that it has grown by another 10%. Many people today will tell you, oh, my father played a big role in my life as well. I'm one of such as well.
Very good.
So let's talk about supporting mothers. I remember when I had my child, adjusting to motherhood was tough for me. I knew next to nothing about my hormones and how I felt. How important is it that the people around the new mother support her at the time when she just has a child?
So we're very lucky in our environment that many people are around usually to support the new mother. It's very important to have these social structure around you. You can learn from the experiences of older people. You can also benefit from the support of people around you, to help you with the child, to tell you, things about child care, and more importantly, to support you so you get the much needed rest after childbirth. Like you mentioned, hormones are raging. Sometimes, people go through, postpartum depression. This is something that it's, not well recognized in some societies, but it is real. So it is important to have the right type of support structure when you have a baby, whether it be the clinical support or even more importantly, at home support.
Right.
So we have many programs culturally where, people key in, they do umugwo, and, in Yoruba land as well, they do several other things to support the new mom. So it is important. For us at Procter & Gamble, what we do is we have educational programs that educate moms about the various stages of baby's growth and baby's life, supported by Pampers.
Wow, so I was just going to come to that what else P&G does to support mothers across board. But so far, are there any programs your company is engaging in right now to help mothers across the country?
Yes, like I mentioned earlier, we're a force for good and a force for good. And this compels us to support not just moms, but women in general. We have several programs that we have engaged in. Our social programs touch over 15 million Nigerian moms, women, girls, and children across the country. Specifically to women, recently we launched a program called Rigakafi. Rigakafi is a Hausa word for prevention. What this program aims to do is to support the immunization programs as well as the maternal and child health care programs of various primary health care centers at federal level as well as at state level. So what we have done is we have supported this program, the maternal and child health care programs, across several platforms with the donation of Pampers. This Pampers is given out to mothers to incentivize them to bring their babies for immunization and for the pregnant moms to attend antenatal classes when they know they will collect a pack of Pampers. The program runs in peri-urban as well as in rural areas across several local government areas. We've also partnered with states like Kebbi, Ogun State, the Women Affairs, Ministry of Health, and several other parastatals. So this is one of the programs where we have donated over 3 million Pampers diapers to support the program of immunization as well as antenatal care.
Wow.
In addition to that, we have several other programs like the Children's Safe Drinking Water Program, which is a global flagship program for P&G, where we provide a sachet that helps to purify water into clean drinking water. Wow. As you know, that health, is very dependent on what you take in. Water is life. So we provide these sachets, free of charge across various rural communities where they don't have access to clean drinking water.
Fantastic.
And this sachet can actually help turn turbid water into clean drinking water, help turn turbid water into clean drinking water, helping to prevent disease and death from waterborne.
Fantastic.
germs.
Well done.
So several programs also reaching girls and women. You also know about our Always Keeping Girls in School program. We have a saying that when you educate a man, you educate an individual. When you educate a woman, you educate an entire community. So this is something that P&G focuses on a lot, to ensure that girls have access to education and they can attend to their education uninterrupted throughout their year by providing them with free sanitary pads.
Thank you very much for sharing all the plans that P&G have for women in this country. We really appreciate the effort you've done so far, and we're going to be coming back for more because TVC, we like partners like this that like to support us. So I hope it's okay for us to come back for more diapers and Pampers to give to more women.
And even always.
Always. Is that okay? I want you to promise us on national TV.
With you anytime, like I said, we have shared values in reaching moms, improving maternal and child health care as well. So we look forward to partnering with people like you as well. And thanks for all the great work that you do.
Great. All right, so we'll be speaking with the Senior Director of Africa Global Government Relations and Public Policy, Procter & Gamble, Temitakwe Eliyemi. Let's go on a break now. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So before we go on with the show, PC just walked in. Woo, 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 woo. Obiajulu, what happened to you? Is it this Lagos traffic?
It's the Lagos traffic. The bridge, I took a co-bridge this morning. The bridge was blocked. I think some trucks had issues on the bridge and they were not moving. We didn't know. So by the time we got there, everything was blocked. Nothing was moving. So, Nigerians now, we came down and started finding ways to see how we can turn. And then one particular commissioner of whatever just blocked the road. I can't turn, no. I can't turn, no. He's one way. He's one way. We were pleading, and the woman that came to meet him, Uncle, please, can you just turn? We're trying to find a way back, go down and take Costain. And he said, no, he can't turn. And by the time the woman harassed him, he raised his hand. I just brought out my phone and I started recording. I thought, if you touch her today, you will not like yourself. At the end of the day, we had to find our way. Then the traffic all the way down to court. No, there was no last month till like to 8 when we had come down to. It was horrible.
The crazy. Don't worry, to be okay. Eh?
Thank you.
Just be. I know you're still trying to get adjusted to this, but don't worry, you blend very soon. Okay, moving on now to our Let's Talk for today. Mixed reactions have continued to trail President Muhammadu Buhari's Independence Day speech, where he tried to justify the recent hike in the price of petrol and the removal of subsidy. Joining us on the show is Queensley Seghosime, a chartered accountant and a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. She's also the former coordinating director, Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS. Welcome, madam, to the show. Good to have you. We can't hear you. I think you're still muted.
Muted.
Are you want to mute?
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to have. Now we can hear you.
It's good to be with you.
Yes. All right, so this morning we just want to have a conversation because we know Labour has given the country about 2 weeks, I believe, in these 2 weeks, they're supposed to see how they can find a middle ground. But in the meantime, we need Nigerians to understand what's going on. And the president's speech is one of those things that many people are still talking about. The issue that he said that we have no business paying more than Saudi Arabia. Paying less than them for petrol. In your view, does this statement make sense?
Thank you very much, madam. I'm very, very happy that government has actually concluded that it was unrealistic to continue with the burden of subsidizing petrol to the tune of billions of naira every year. Which when the subsidy was benefiting only a very few with a lot of cars, generators to fund, and the common man that people are saying will suffer are actually only on a transportation, entry transportation to wherever they are going to do their business. So I know that the deregulation is going to bring about more investment into the oil sector. It is actually going to create more jobs. And there's going to be opportunities for a lot of other things that we follow and free up trillions of naira to actually develop infrastructure instead of enriching a few parts of Nigerians. I believe strongly that it will help to reduce smuggling. It will actually help to provide funds that will otherwise be available for other infrastructural needs like good roads, health, education, power, and indeed will help the current economic reality, will help the current economy. For me, go ahead.
We understand what you just said, madam, but Nigerians are a bit skeptical because at the last time where we negotiated with the country, with the federal government, and they agreed for a Shopee fund to be created for what was saved at the last time. So remember, we had to go to 97.9, I believe, per litre. And the amount of money that was saved, they now created a Shopee fund which was supposed to be used for infrastructure. Nigerians are saying they can't even verify what the government has used these Shopee funds for. So if you're now telling us, saying that the government would use these saved funds for infrastructure, Nigerians are saying, I don't quite agree they will do that. Why do you believe the government will actually use this money appropriately?
I believe strongly that it's not only using the money appropriately, it will help to kickstart the economy that is being sluggish for a while. We have good testimonies under the communication sector when it was actually deregulated fully. I believe that now that people are beginning to hold government accountable, government will begin to know that they are supposed to account to the people, and hence will be able to show to the people what the revenues that are supposed to be derived from this are used for. So let us give it a trial. I believe that it is the right thing to do, and I believe that government will actually be able to show its electorate what it is doing with the money.
All right, let's go on a quick break. We'll come back. We'll continue this conversation after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. We still have our guest here. Nima wanted to go. Go ahead, please.
Yes. So, you sounded so promising. You were so, believing government would invest this money. Is it until there's an increase and a tougher time for the average man that, you believe in this? Reason is because I believe that without creating refineries where we refine our own crude here, we should not even think of removing subsidy right now. It is also subsidizing the rich. These opportunities that you mentioned, how is it going to benefit the poor man eventually? These opportunities, how do the poor man access them?
Okay. I believe strongly that it's going to benefit all. For instance, I believe strongly that the way forward is actually the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill. If this bill is passed into law, it will help to pave way for investors in the oil refinery sector. They will build refineries, our people will be employed, and of course, there will be a lot of this other problem of NNPC being overloaded or being controlling a lot in the enterprise will stop. I also believe that it will create competition. It will encourage other companies to get involved. And of course, I believe strongly that this will help to boost foreign direct investment, which will help the Nigerian economy that is going down now. It will also reduce a lot of transportation costs. It will reduce because, of course, the forces of supply and demand will be allowed to play itself out to determine the price. I even read in the papers this morning that the oil marketers are saying that prices are likely to go down in the following weeks or months. So certainly, with the removal, or we're hearing that there is a partial removal of the subsidy, the market has started to react. So I believe strongly that it's in the interest of the common man because it will help to reduce cost of transportation. It will also help to give employment to our people. It will help to bring the much needed foreign direct investment into the Nigerian economy.
Let me get some more
It will
questions
also
for you. Go ahead.
Sorry?
Yes, I want to ask you a question, ma'am. While I agree
Yes, ma'am.
with the removal of subsidy, I believe that it's something that we should do, in that we've already seen that it's been a pipeline for corruption. I've asked over and over again that the reason mainly for the removal is because the government admits it has empowered a few and not all. But if it has empowered a few and there is corruption involved, one, I expect there should be prosecution of those that are guilty of corruption within the subsidy segment. And also, more importantly, is that people don't trust the government. The average Nigerian believes that the government has been paying lip service to developing other sectors and providing palliative. So why would I believe suddenly that this government will, after taking away subsidy, now direct the money into other areas that will comfort me? Why should I believe the government, man?
Like as I said before, when the communication sector was deregulated, we are all reaping the benefits now. We have said the issue of corruption, people always believe that corruption is only when monies are passed from one place to the other. It is not only about that. The labor, they have big mouth. Anytime government says something that is good, they will come up with, they are going on strike and twist government. I recall sometimes in 2007, okay? Sometimes in 2007, when there was this issue of aligning the prices to align the forces of supply and demand to determine the prices, they continued the strike, and at the end of the day, there was a side letter to the Federal Inland Revenue Service saying that VAT should no longer be applicable to companies that are into marketing or distribution of oil. It wasn't until 2018 December that this illegality was legalized by the minister. This monies, if it is properly, I think we should begin to ask our people who are in charge with expending the money, like the Accountant General of the Federation, the Accountants Generals in the states, to begin to explain what they have done with the monies that are given to them every month. In that way, they will be cautious and monies will be judiciously applied. Okay. Corruption also is about what happened between 2007 and 2008. For me, I believe is corruption. Monies that were supposed to be distributed or used for infrastructure were not used because some side letter came to Federal Inland Revenue Service, and anytime they want to implement it, then the labor will come with twisting government, and at the end of the day, they will keep quiet. So I believe that this is the right time to actually implement this thing. If the petroleum industry becomes alive, I believe strongly that monies will be available to do other infrastructural things. Of course, it will come by way of taxes, and I believe that all the state governments will do what they're expected to do.
Mr. 1 second, please. I have a call and holding for a while. Hassan, are you still there?
Good morning, Ogene.
Morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Ogene.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Nima.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning, Tope and Obiajulu.
Good morning. Good morning.
Please, I'm disappointed with our book tigers in Nigeria. Where is government without subsidy? We are busy talking as if subsidy is a sin in this country. Why can't we go for the fraud that goes with the subsidy instead of government punishing the innocent people of Nigeria? That's number one. Number two, Buhari have the best opportunity to deal with the corruption that goes with anything nonsense in this country, but he's allowing it to slip out of his fingers because he's dancing to the tune of these guys from the other Swiss schools of economy. Where is government without subsidy? I'm asking them. People refuse to put the refineries in order. They keep on misadvising Mr. President to even locate a refinery in Mashi, very close to the Niger Republic, so that we can have refined products. That's why did not work for them. They frustrated, turned around maintenance. They looted the money. Nobody is saying anything. And innocent Nigerians are suffering for nothing in this country. Even the highest in the NEPA bill, we are the victims. Why are you visiting punishment on the victims in this country? I ask Mr. President, please, 3 years is a long time for you to make a change. Stand up, forget about this useless advisor, and face the reality in this country. Good morning, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hassan. Yes, please, you can answer.
Yeah, so, one of the problems we had with the president's speech was the fact that he compared the country. We've always had a comparison with we are doing better than this administration, we are doing better than this country, and then this one, they are charging higher than we are charging in fuel. But he did not go ahead to compare the minimum wage of those countries to what we have. He did not compare the infrastructures that the countries had. He did not compare the welfare system, the educational system, the hospitality industry, and what's this? Ability to access free healthcare. He did not compare all of those. So I am worried that if we do not, if he does not find a way to make it easy for Nigerians, that even at the end of the day, after the market forces have started determining the prices, there is no guarantee that the poor man will still have, will be able to afford
better welfare
and have better standard of living.
Thank you very much. What my response will be that let us try to believe the government now to see what can be done. If the government gets up now to remove the subsidy, let us believe them. Let us now see. After all, I always use the Nigerian communication sector to make example that after that, we all know what it has what their contribution has been to this country. I know that the president may have compared Nigeria with Saudi Arabia, and that probably would have compared to other countries like in the African or in the West African sub-region. But I'd like us to believe the president, because I know that this is the way to go. I suggest that I will also always go to the petroleum industry bill. I suggest that it is quickly passed into law.
Right.
I believe that it has strong potentials to act as a catalyst in ushering Nigeria out of the dark era of resource costs.
Right. I admire
to become more progressive, sustainable, and develop producer of oil in Africa and indeed in the world.
I admire your optimism strongly, but I must also remind you that Nigerians are skeptical, and there's a mistrust or distrust on the part of government. We don't trust, and that has happened over the years. So if you take us back to where, yes, the telecommunications industry was deregulated, that period, things were not as bad as it is today. So what Nigerians are saying, yes, you have all these lofty dreams, but unfortunately, where I am today as a Nigerian, I can hardly afford to feed my family properly. Therefore, what Nigerians will probably see as a solution is, let us see the government tighten their belt. The cost of governance is way too high. So imagine we wake up this morning and say, oh, the presidency or the National Assembly have cut salaries, maybe 75% of their salaries, they've sold off their cars, they're now asked to use their own private cars and give them fuel allowance, or the government has done XYZ. If Nigerians wake up to that kind of news where we see that the government has tightened their belt to the barest minimum, and then the following week they now say, okay, now we've removed subsidy. Now, you guys have to pay market forces. We realize we're not the only one tightening our belts. Yeah. That's probably the issue of trust that we're seeing here, because you can't tell us to be paying when governments seem to be largesse in largesse.
I believe strongly that you should give government a chance. I believe that they can do it this time around. And I believe that it is in the best interest of the citizens.
Why? Okay, let's talk about
if you believe that people are corrupt, we all know that everybody is corrupt. It's not only people in government that are corrupt. Everyone is corrupt, one way or the other, if you look at it. Like I tried to show you what happened between 2007 and 2008, where VAT was not charged on marketers were not charging VAT, and it was backed up with a side letter. At the time, FRS now wanted to move in to say, look, you cannot do this. They now went, they have strong voice, like my colleague, my dear friend spoke just now. They have a way of twisting government. But I believe that you should believe in government, because I believe that is the right thing to do. We all believe that removal of subsidy is the right way to go. So please, let us
you mentioned
government, let us try, and I believe that they will do the right thing.
You mentioned that with deregulating this sector, that a lot of opportunities are available for the poor common man, for everyone, and I was asking how do the common man benefit. But now, just maybe you highlight these opportunities that would the petroleum industry bill will bring, so that maybe now we'll be informing the decision makers, the people in government, to quickly hasten passing this bill into law.
Okay. I can go on, is it?
Okay, while you're getting that, let me take this call. He's been holding for a while. Okpara, are you still there?
Good morning to everybody.
Good morning, thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Please, it's not today we will start to hear all this grammar. We have been hearing all this for long. Infrastructure, infrastructure, infrastructure. How many times of the year for this regime to increase fuel price? During the time of election, he brought it down. And now, in this COVID-19, when everybody is trying to survive, now they have hiked the price and the price of NEPA. This is uncalled for. Nigerians are suffering. The minimum wage, they even increase a little. This is the way to take it back from the people. So it is uncalled for. I think this government is not sensitive at all.
Okay, Okpara, let me pause you for a second. Do you understand the issues? I'm happy that you even called us. So you're a Nigerian. You're saying that what they've done is not fair. But do you understand the issues, the factors surrounding that decision?
Yeah, please. There is no excuse. Nigeria is a rich nation. Let them repair our refinery and build new refineries. The money, since how many years, it's okay for them to repair and build new refineries. How can they take our crude oil, go outside and refine and bring the thing back to us and sell it at a high price for us? It's uncalled for. Enough is enough. Nigerians are suffering. Please, this man should do something. It's not today we start to hear the grammar. Infrastructure, they will build road, they will build NEPA, they will build. Since how many years? We have been hearing this grammar. It's enough.
I'm not letting you go here, because you're an average Nigerian. It's important that one of the objectives of our show is to communicate, educate, and enlighten you on what exactly is going on. So what the government have told us is that in addition to all the issues they've had, COVID-19 has even worsened revenue. Yeah. So if you're asking, do this, do that, they say, I don't have the money to pay subsidy anymore. I have nothing in my purse. It's when you have plenty money that you can do subsidy. Right now, there's no money. So if I can't pay those rich people anymore, I'm saying let the international forces of how much crude prices are determine how much you and I pay. Are you saying you don't understand that reasoning?
And there are looted funds which have been recovered. There is no explanation on how this fund was spent. Nigeria is rich. We can't tell us that this nation is poor. It's not poor. It's very rich. There are looted funds which have been recovered. There is no explanation on how this fund was spent. Nigeria is rich. We can't tell us that this nation is poor. It's not poor. It's very rich.
Thank you very much, Okpara.
Sadly, many people still share that opinion. Nigeria has potential to be rich. Nigeria used to be very rich, but the commodity that gave us that wealth, that's the crude oil, is no longer in value globally. So crude oil used to go for over 100, it came to 60, now it's barely $40 per barrel. So what used to give us wealth is no longer worth wealth, building your wealth on. So, and I think Nigeria needs to get it. Nigeria is not that rich anymore. And the Nigerian economy, the Nigerian government has expanded the recurrent expenditure because we felt like we had money. Now, when you cut off that money, you're now like left with a big bloated revenue that you need to keep feeding. So people, Okpara and every other person that is thinking like Okpara, we actually don't have money. So your call should not be, let's bring back subsidy. Your call should be, government should cut their expenditure. Yeah. So your call should not be, subsidy should stop. It is that, no, slash your bills, slash ministries, reduce the expenses. The cost of governance must come down, because that's the only way that makes sense. But bringing back subsidy wouldn't really work. So let's direct our energy and our voice to what is applicable to us right now.
Self-inflicted problem in Nigeria. Yes. This self-inflicted problem is the we killed our refineries and decided to take our crude outside. When we had working refineries under past administrations, we took our crude outside to refine it. We made our crude scarce resources. We made our own petrol, a product that is God has given us, scarce resources to our people and force this hardship. Any government that is supposed to be our messiah will bring the solution to make sure that with that crude we refine here, so we don't have to pay through our noses. We are the only ones on that in the oil producing country under OPEC that refines their product outside their country. Who does that kind of thing? Right. And then you remove subsidy at this point in time and tell people that you don't have the money.
Refineries doesn't happen overnight, Nima. It takes time. It takes a bill.
It doesn't, but we've recovered funds. We've done everything, but first using that refinery.
We should have, but we didn't. What we have today now is what are we going to do? How are we going to move forward? I'm coming to you to BC, but let me take this call from Oyeni. Oyeni, we'll come to our guest. I hope she's still there. Oyeni, are you there? Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Sorry.
Good morning, Oyeni. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead. You're live, please.
Okay. Hello?
You're live on television. Please go ahead,
yes,
Oyeni.
I have a comment on the argument that the president made on the price of petrol in Nigeria in relation to what the price is in some other countries.
Yes.
I think that the government should please stop insulting the intelligence of Nigerians. And the Minister of Information too should note this. It is illogical. We're talking about countries that have facilities, that have invested in education, and they have social welfare schemes. This is a country where the roads are bad, nothing is working, the postal system has collapsed, and nobody is bothered. I think that we are tired of listening to comments like this. We are disappointed.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, BC,
over the years, we've had money pumped into rehabilitating the refineries. The question will be, what happened to the money? Who are we going to hold accountable? What did they do? At what point? Where did they get to? Where did they stop? If we don't ask all these questions, money, even when everything is deregulated, we'll still find that money will be siphoned out, and the poor that are supposed to benefit will not benefit. It's obvious to us now that government has not been forward thinking. So for me, where do we start now? And it's not just when it comes to petroleum. Let's even look into agriculture as well. We are used to, because we are blessed with the natural resources, we do not use our hair to find ways to turn them into finished products that we can use ourselves. So now we have a problem where we need to start refining our oil ourselves if we want to survive, because there's no money. And as we are diverting into agriculture, it's not just about producing the corn, the maize, the yam, the cassava. We need to start changing them into finished products that we can use so that we can feed ourselves and help everybody.
Thank you very much, BC. And I think you and Tope also try to put it in proper perspective. Let us be very clear. Just like Tope had said, crude isn't as valuable as it was before. Now, that's why the government has said, let us diversify to agriculture right now. And they're asking all of us young people to go into agriculture. So we need to build that wealth ground up, right? Again. Now, there's an argument that keeps resurfacing. We should have built this. We have not done this. There's no infrastructure. Education is poor. We know those things. We're not starting a new conversation on that. So if anybody is continually reiterating the fact that we don't have good roads, we don't have good health, we know this. We're saying we are here now. Going forward is what we're asking. Yes. How do we? And I think we've also reiterated some. Let me come back to our guest. So, Queensley, you've heard everybody say various angles of this, because Nigerians, we've been beaten a number of times. So we don't trust the government, and we agree that we have such infrastructural decline in our country. But going forward, this thing you're asking us to trust, before we begin to trust as a people, Queensley, we need to see the body posture of the government. We need Nigerians to see, we need government to see that, listen, we can't trust you unless we see that you are just suffering as much as we are. Yes. So in your view, how can government demonstrate to Nigerians that they are equally feeling the pain together, that we're in this together?
Thank you very much. Earlier, you have rightly made the point that actually subsidy is not in the budget. So the money is not there. But you have also alluded to the fact that Nigeria has the potential to be rich. And we believe that if this deregulation is allowed to take place, as it is now, we believe strongly that one other sectors of the economy will kickstart. Monies will be available for other sectors, for the private sector to invest, for foreign investors to come out and invest. And of course, you know, as money comes into the economy, it will open up a lot of other areas that can benefit the common man, including agriculture, like as you have rightly said. I believe strongly that if this Labour should understand that we can no longer continue with this I'm twisting government all the time.
Okay, all right.
Let us do what is right. Allow the private sector to do what they know how best to do, so that government can concentrate on governance.
All right, let me take
Let
this
them
call.
trust government for once.
I have a call from one of our viewers. Ismaila from Ogun State. Good morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, ma.
Morning.
I greet all of you on the show.
Yes.
And I greet your invited guests too. I just want to make my view known to you all. Most especially how I felt when I heard the conversation from Mr. President, when he was comparing the reason why, maybe according to him, or what you have just told us now, that the reason why the pricing of fuel in our country, comparing it with that of Saudi Arabia, I felt so bad about it, and I felt so disgusting. Even not only me and my friends, and every other Nigerians around, we felt so bad. Because Mr. President should realize that Saudi Arabia is far ahead of us economically. Yes. So it would be very wrong of him to start comparing that since price is sold in a particular amount in Saudi Arabia, we can sell it here. In Saudi Arabia, there are good roads. We don't have good roads there. There are infrastructures there. We don't have it here. There are subsidies for education, for medical health care, and all those things. We don't have that one in Nigeria. And you are here comparing the pricing of Nigeria fuel with that of Saudi Arabia. That I felt disgusting. That's one. Number two, the gentle lady with.
Oh, we lost Ismaila.
See, I explained this earlier, and I would explain it again. So this one is for the Nigerians, for ourselves. Talk to us. Nigeria is in a quagmire. We don't have money. You see, we need to remove it from our head, that thought that Nigeria is very rich. We are not. We have access to money. The money we have spent it. We are indebted. We are still trying to pay off our debts, and we have salaries to pay. So infrastructure that you are looking for will not happen as it is right now. That's to the people. Understand this. Asking for subsidy to be brought back is not realistic. It will not work. So it might seem like I'm supporting the government, but I'm not. I'm just understanding of the facts on ground. Now, based on that fact, I believe all of us as Nigerians should come with one voice. Don't fall under. I'm not in the labor union. I'm not a fan of them. They have betrayed me many times. I have looked away from them, and I want to speak for myself. We have social media. We can speak. Let us tell the government what can be done. So we know what can be done is you can win back our trust, federal government. The president can win back our trust by displaying sacrifice on their part. Sacrifice your income, sacrifice by reducing, shrinking your benefits. That's number one. Number two, give us a blueprint. Because if you just say deregulation, it won't solve problem. You don't cut off the head because you're having headache. So now you remove the subsidy. But what is the roadmap? There is nothing from the president as a roadmap. We are all waiting for Dangote's refinery to come upstream. That is not a roadmap. Please, let us have a roadmap from the government that makes sense to us as to what you are doing. So if you want to make funds from agriculture, what are the provisions available to encourage smallholder farmers? Because the funds available, I am a farmer, is only available to the big guys in the industry that have connections.
Right, Nima.
Two things quickly. If we can borrow to build railways, we can borrow to build a refinery. We know we need it.
Yes, we do.
Just as we need the good roads and we need the refineries. If we can grant Dangote the will and the license to do a refinery, why are state governors, where some states are richer than others, not have small refineries that state government control, get the reality and give them resource control? Why did we fight resource control and get ourselves here? Why is it about the party in office and the will of the elites?
And this brings
the interest
conversation
of the
on deregulation and restructuring. This goes back to regional control. These are all conversations that we're all having. So
Labour has betrayed us over the years, yes, but Labour itself is not disagreeing with the removal of subsidy. Labour is just questioning what ameliorations did you put in place to remove it at this time, especially under this present condition of the pandemic and all the job losses that we've suffered, the hardship and everything. That is all the questions we're asking. If government says, okay, this is the time to remove it, this is what we have been asking you to remove since. Okay. When things were easier.
Okay.
Right now.
In addition to talk, but if you are saying you don't have money, what happens to the security votes that governors are still collecting every month? We need to mop up all of these funds to be... I think we need to, as a government, to put our priorities first. What is it that we're looking for? Is it education we're facing? Is it the subsidy removal that we are enforcing? Then you mop up all the extra funds that go into unnecessary largesse and use it to build something that we can see as Nigerians.
We have to wrap up now because our guests... let me let our guests have the final words. Madam, are you still there? We have to run off. So on the final note, what would you tell Nigerians at this point?
At this point, I would like to say to Nigerians that they should allow the subsidy to be effected, because I know that there's been a lot of criticisms and a lot of varied opinions for and against the subsidy. But I know that if this is allowed to hold, it will be the way to go, because I believe that other sectors of the economy will also kickstart.
Okay, on that note, we need to end. Thank you very much, Madam. We've been speaking with Queensley Seghosime, a chartered accountant and a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. She's also the former coordinating director, Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. On the final note, listen, we can't end the conversation here because our objective on this show is to educate Nigerians. People are still calling, saying, Nigeria, we have money, we have money.
Where's the money?
Honey, there's no money anywhere. We really need to face reality. And just like you said, our workforce has been bloated. We can't send people home. You got to find this money somewhere. So it's a lot to take in. But at this point where we are now, the conversations are ongoing. I think they're giving the government 2 weeks. We'll see what happens in the coming week. That's all we can take on the show. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.